When Guillermo and I first discussed how this creature's going to look, it was extremely broad. My objective was obviously Guillermo's script and then to do something that we hadn't seen before. In order for this particular version to not look like he's been stitched up after an accident, I made a lot of the shapes and forms and cuts in geometric shapes. So when you see this creature, you instantly know this is man-made. You know, Victor Frankenstein is not a butcher. He's trying to make the perfect man.
I was taken aback by it because I had this idea of what the creature is like in other iterations of Frankenstein that I've seen. But what I really loved and appreciated is kind of how it's scaled back in a way. There's a purity to it.
There's a few looks because we're actually growing with him as he's developing in the movie. So first we start off basically a baby, newborn. Then as he progresses, you'll start to see some fuzz appear. And then we move to his teenager stage. And then we have his fully realized romantic adult look.
I also wanted to do something with the coloring. At the end of the day, this is a man brought back from the dead, but it doesn't mean that he can't look beautiful. So the different variations of color on the face were to frame the face. Like if you look at his deltoid on his shoulders, the strips in here, one's red, one's blue, one's yellow. Guillermo and I realized that it's different people's parts of skin. They age different and they discolor different. So I just played around with colors and forms and shapes that would make the actor's body feel powerful and feel put together, but put together by a man.
Michael is genuinely one of the finest artists I've ever encountered. All I needed to be was the perfect still canvas for him to paint life onto.
When we're doing the makeup process for Jacob's head and hands, it's normally 3 of us. But when we do the full body, there's 5 of us on that. And literally for 9 hours, it's 5 of us constantly going. The full body is actually 42 pieces. And normally with a makeup like this, you can overlap an appliance. So you got a little room for error. But since I broke the makeup up along the actual cuts and stitches where Frankenstein put him together, like a jigsaw puzzle, it's very exacting and takes a little longer to apply. But it looked much more man-made.
Death. Now there lies the challenge.
The tricky thing about putting Oscar's character together was to make sure that there was always room to move somewhere. When we see him as a young man in medical academy, he's got sideburns and he's, quite rugged looking, and that's sort of essentially his best look in the movie.
Guillermo wanted to see Oscar's hair growing to show time passage. So the first look that you see him in is his own hair. Tim, who works with Oscar, joined us, and he did a beautiful job.
Fiona is so talented, and so seeing what I can do to support her world that she's created, it's amazing. So this was the first time that we've used his natural texture.
Never again will I make something like you wicked and deformed.
At the wedding, Guillermo wanted the hair additions to show a mid-length because now he's falling apart, time has passed.
He starts to become much more broken down. So I started to remove elements of work that I would do to make Oscar look healthy, and the fatigue started to show, the exasperation and exhaustion started to show, and then it sort of makes its way through that look into his Arctic look. We actually started out with Oscar basically near death. He's been out in the Arctic. It's a severe exposure makeup. He's got frostbite.
Frankenstein's hair is long, it's messy, and he starts to resemble the creature.
So much of his character is conveyed through the hair, through what it's doing, how it's changing. All those things were just languages of expression.
You should not go near it. It. Yes.
Mia's prep alone takes about 25 minutes, and to put the wig on is another 20 minutes, and then about 15 minutes of styling. The wig is handmade and took about 8 weeks to make or more.
The level of craftsmanship is unparalleled. I've never experienced anything quite like it.
It's all 36-inch hair dropped down on panels and pinned onto Mia's hair prep underneath the wig, which is not normally done. So the movement would be more natural.
The hair, the makeup, the scarring. There's not a single thing that means nothing. Everything means everything. So everything has a curation and a dedication and a passion that is very uncommon in films these days.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joblo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.